In the most extreme depths of the planet, far from human eyes, there exist seafood creatures so rare and valuable that they seem like living legends. From ancestral mollusks to giant crustaceans, from nearly extinct biological jewels to invisible creatures of the oceanic trenches, this series reveals 20 hidden treasures of the oceans, a journey through luxury, mystery, science, and fragility, showing that the greatest secrets of the sea are not on the plate, but in the silence of the deep waters. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now let's get started. Number 1. The invisible mollusk of the ocean trenches. Living in the deepest regions of the planet, this almost unknown mollusk is rarely observed. Its biology is still poorly understood, and there is no commercial exploitation. It represents the extreme limit of known marine life, symbolizing everything the oceans still hide from humanity. Number 2. Living fossilized ancestral oyster. This extremely rare oyster belongs to a lineage that has remained almost unchanged for millions of years. It lives in protected regions and grows slowly, carrying unique primitive characteristics. More than food, it is considered a living fossil. Its existence helps scientists understand the evolution of modern mollusks. Number 3. Siberian golden king crab. Inhabiting remote Arctic waters, this crab displays subtle golden tones and highly prized meat. It lives in small, isolated populations. Its capture is strictly controlled due to the risk of population collapse. It is one of the most expensive and rarest crustaceans in the world. Number 4. Deep crystal shrimp. This shrimp lives at great depths and has an almost completely transparent body. Its organs are visible, creating a ghostly appearance. Extremely fragile, it rarely survives being brought to the surface. It is valued not for gastronomy, but for the scientific knowledge it provides about adaptation to extreme pressure. Number 5. Patagonian pink abalone. Found in isolated regions of Patagonia, this abalone displays a unique pink coloration and extremely slow growth. Its delicate meat and refined texture made it a target of illegal fishing in the past. Today, it is highly protected and considered one of the rarest mollusks in the southern hemisphere. Number 6. Giant clam of the marine desert. This extremely rare clam lives deeply buried in nutrient-poor sandy seabeds. It grows slowly and can go years without being seen. Its meat is exceptionally rare on the market, and its true value lies in its ecological role, filtering water and stabilizing sediments. An almost invisible organism, yet essential. Number 7. Polar white sea urchin. Living in nearly freezing polar waters, this sea urchin displays a translucent white coloration and an extremely slow metabolism. It can live for decades in environments of extreme scarcity. Its rarity is linked to the severe conditions required for its survival. Little known to the public, it is fundamental to the balance of polar ecosystems. Number 8. European blue crayfish. This crayfish, with its intense blue coloration, is the result of an extremely rare mutation that occurs only in very specific environments. Highly sensitive to pollution, it has become a symbol of pure, balanced waters. Its unique appearance has elevated its cultural and scientific value. Today it is protected and rarely seen outside specialized studies. Number 9. Wild Alaskan butterfish. Unlike commercial varieties, the wild Alaskan butterfish lives in deep, icy waters. Its extremely soft and flavorful flesh has made it legendary among chefs, but its rarity prevents large-scale exploitation. It lives solitarily, grows slowly, and is highly sensitive to environmental changes, making it an indicator species of the health of cold seas. Number 10. Golden Empress shell. This rare shell is known for its natural golden coloration and intensely lustrous nacreous interior. It inhabits extremely specific tropical sandy bottoms. Valued more for its beauty than for its meat, it became a symbol of luxury and power in ancient cultures. Today, its collection is severely restricted, and finding one alive is considered an exceptional event. Number 11. Colossal Japanese spider crab. Considered the largest living arthropod on the planet, the Japanese spider crab is astonishing for the gigantic span of its legs. It lives in deep, cold waters, far from human activity. Its slow growth and extreme longevity make it exceptionally rare. Despite its intimidating size, it is a peaceful animal, a symbol of the biological antiquity of the oceans, and is highly protected by environmental laws. Number 12. Indian Ocean rare ringed octopus. This extremely rare octopus inhabits specific regions of the Indian Ocean, living hidden among deep reefs and rocky formations. Its discrete low-contrast rings make it almost invisible in its natural environment. Highly intelligent, it avoids human contact and demonstrates complex behaviors of camouflage and strategy. Very few scientific records exist, making it one of the most mysterious cephalopods ever cataloged. Number 13. Giant clam, Tridacna. Among the rarest and most valuable seafood species in the world, few are as impressive in size, longevity, and symbolism as the giant clam of the genus Tridacna. Unlike creatures that hide in the shadows of the deep ocean, this monumental mollusk lives in plain sight of very few people, in locations so specific and fragile that most of humanity will never encounter it outside documentaries or scientific studies. It is not merely a rare seafood species, it is a living monument of tropical oceans. The giant clam inhabits coral reefs in warm, crystal-clear waters of the Indo-Pacific. These seemingly paradisiacal environments are, in fact, extremely delicate systems, where small changes in temperature, pollution, or water acidification can trigger severe ecological collapse. It is within this unstable balance that Tridacna grows slowly, anchored to the reef as if it were part of it. Physically, the giant clam defies common expectations of mollusks. Its shell can exceed 1 meter in length and weigh hundreds of kilograms. The valves are thick, irregular, and marked by deep folds, the result of decades, sometimes more than a century, of continuous growth. Each adult specimen is older than most modern human constructions. The interior of the giant clam is even more astonishing. Its exposed mantle displays intense hypnotic colors ranging from electric blue and emerald green to gold and deep brown. These colors are not merely decorative, they result from microscopic symbiotic algae living within the clam's tissues. In this extraordinary relationship, the clam provides shelter and the algae produce energy through sunlight, helping to nourish the animal. This symbiosis makes the giant clam one of the few seafood species that depend directly on sunlight to survive. It does not move, hunt, or chase food. Instead, it lives by filtering water and absorbing energy slowly in an almost motionless rhythm. This stationary lifestyle reinforces its vulnerability. Once destroyed, it cannot escape or recover quickly. For centuries, the giant clam was surrounded by myths. Ancient maritime legends described it as a man-eater, capable of trapping divers with its massive shells. In reality, these stories arose from fear of its colossal size. In practice, Tridacna is a peaceful animal, incapable of reacting quickly to threats. Despite this, its imposing presence did not protect it from human exploitation. Its firm, abundant meat was long considered a valuable food in coastal communities. Additionally, its enormous shells were used as decorative objects, sinks, sculptures, and symbols of wealth. This intense exploitation led to a dramatic decline in natural populations. From a gastronomic standpoint, giant clam meat is rare today, precisely because its capture is now severely restricted. When consumed in the past, it was described as dense, slightly sweet, and extremely nutritious. Today, any legal consumption occurs only in very specific contexts, usually tied to sustainable management programs or controlled aquaculture. Ecologically, the importance of Tridacna is immense. It acts as a natural filter, cleaning large volumes of water daily. Its shells also provide shelter for fish, crustaceans, and other invertebrates. The loss of these clams causes cascading impacts, weakening the entire reef structure. The longevity of the giant clam also makes it a living record of climate change. Growth rings in its shells reveal historical variations in temperature and water composition, functioning as natural archives of the ocean. Each individual carries a century of environmental memory. Today, conservation efforts seek to reverse the damage caused. Captive breeding and reintroduction programs in protected reefs show promising results, but progress is slow. After all, this is an organism that grows over decades, not months. For most people, the giant clam will remain an impressive image in books or videos, but for the oceans, it is far more than that, a silent pillar, sustaining life around it with infinite patience. More than a rare and valuable seafood species, the giant clam Tridacna is a symbol of the quiet greatness of marine nature, a motionless colossus teaching us that not all strength needs to move to be powerful. Number 14. Japanese imperial shrimp. Among the rarest and most valuable seafood species on the planet, the Japanese imperial shrimp holds a place of almost ceremonial respect. Unlike widely known or commercially exploited species, this shrimp exists in a restricted sphere where extreme biology, cultural tradition, and absolute exclusivity intersect. Very few people outside highly specialized scientific and gastronomic circles have ever seen a live specimen, and even fewer have had access to its meat. The imperial shrimp inhabits deep waters around the Japanese archipelago, especially in regions where the submarine landscape drops abruptly into dark, cold canyons. At these depths, sunlight disappears completely, pressure multiplies, and temperature remains stable throughout the year. It is a severe, silent, and seemingly inhospitable environment, yet one that has shaped a creature of extraordinary biological sophistication. Physically, the Japanese imperial shrimp is unmistakable. Its body displays an intense, deep red, almost scarlet, that contrasts strikingly with the dark ocean floor. This coloration is not merely aesthetic. In lightless environments, red tones become virtually invisible, serving as perfect camouflage. Under artificial lighting, however, it reveals an elegant, almost luxurious sheen that justifies its legendary reputation. Its exoskeleton is thin yet resilient, adapted to withstand the extreme pressure of the deep sea. Long, delicate antennae function as highly sensitive sensors, capable of detecting minimal vibrations in the water. Every movement is precise and economical, reflecting a metabolism tuned to food scarcity and energy conservation. The growth of the imperial shrimp is slow, much slower than that of coastal shrimp. It takes years to reach adulthood, and reproduction occurs in space cycles, naturally limiting population size. Each individual represents a significant ecological investment of time, making every capture a noteworthy event. In Japan, this shrimp transcends its status as food and enters the realm of cultural symbolism. Historically, it has been associated with nobility, special ceremonies, and moments of great importance. Ancient records describe it as a gift from the deep sea, reserved for extremely rare occasions. When consumed, it is treated almost as a ritual, with minimal preparation to preserve the purity of its flavor. The meat of the Japanese imperial shrimp is considered exceptional. Extremely delicate, yet firm and juicy, it offers a sweet, clean, and deep flavor without excess. Unlike common shrimp, its taste lingers subtly and persistently on the palate, evoking the calm and depth of the environment in which it lives. For this reason, chefs who work with it often serve it raw or lightly warmed, avoiding any technique that might mask its essence. Due to its extreme rarity, the imperial shrimp almost never reaches traditional markets. When it does appear, its price is extraordinarily high, and it is often traded directly between specialized fishermen and ultra-high-end restaurants. In some cases, it is not sold at all, instead becoming an offering, a symbolic gift, or a silent mark of prestige. Ecologically, the imperial shrimp plays an important role in deep-sea ecosystems. It acts as a predator of small invertebrates, and as a link in the recycling of organic matter that descends from upper ocean layers. Its presence indicates a balanced, cold environment largely untouched by human activity. With advances in deep-sea fishing technology, concern has grown about the future of this species. Accidental capture combined with its slow life cycle can cause irreversible impacts. For this reason, Japanese researchers advocate increasingly strict regulations, and there is growing consensus that the imperial shrimp should be treated more as natural heritage than as a food resource. Seeing a Japanese imperial shrimp in its natural habitat is a rare privilege. Submersibles occasionally record images of this animal moving slowly across the sediment, its antennae drifting like living threads in a dark, silent world. These images reinforce the idea that it belongs to a dimension of the ocean we have only just begun to understand. For most of humanity, the Japanese imperial shrimp will remain invisible, a name mentioned in scientific reports, cultural traditions, and almost secret gastronomic stories. And perhaps it is precisely this invisibility that ensures its survival. More than a rare and valuable seafood species, the Japanese imperial shrimp is a symbol of depth, patience, and respect. It reminds us that the greatest treasures of the ocean do not shine at the surface, but live silently in regions where time itself seems to slow down. Number 15. Giant scallops of the Faroe Islands. In the cold, turbulent waters of the North Atlantic, amid constant fog and unpredictable currents, exists a seafood species so rare that even experienced fishermen may go their entire lives without ever seeing it: the giant scallop of the Faroe Islands. This extraordinary mollusk inhabits one of the most hostile regions of the ocean, where intense cold, great depth, and geographic isolation have created an environment almost untouched by human time. The Faroe Islands, located between Iceland, Scotland, and Norway, are known for their towering cliffs and violent seas. It is precisely within this extreme setting that giant scallops thrive, anchored to deep, rocky bottoms where the water is clear, nutrient-rich, and constantly renewed by glacial currents. These unique conditions shaped an organism of slow growth, unusual size, and incalculable value. Physically, the giant scallop is immediately impressive. Its shell can reach dimensions far exceeding those of common scallops, with robust thickness and edges marked by well-defined growth rings. Each ring represents years, sometimes decades of life. Some estimates suggest that certain specimens may exceed half a century in age, turning each individual into a true marine time capsule. The shell's coloration varies between shades of gray, ivory, and cold beige, often covered by encrusting organisms that accumulate over the years. When opened, however, it reveals a smooth, lightly nacreous interior, hiding a large, firm, and exceptionally pure adductor muscle. It is this muscle that has made the giant scallop one of the most prized seafood delicacies on the planet. The meat of the Faroe Islands scallop is considered legendary among chefs who have had access to it. Its texture is dense yet tender, with a clean, deep, and slightly sweet flavor that reflects the purity of the cold waters where it grew slowly. Unlike fast-growing mollusks, this scallop accumulates flavor complexity over many years, resulting in a unique and unrepeatable gastronomic experience. For this very reason, its harvest has always been extremely limited. Historically, only small local communities were aware of its existence, and even then, collection was sporadic and respectful. In many Faroes traditions, it was believed that removing too many scallops from the same area would bring imbalance to the sea, affecting fish, birds, and even the local climate. Ecologically, these scallops play a fundamental role. As filter feeders, they help maintain water clarity by removing microscopic particles and regulating phytoplankton populations. Their presence indicates a healthy, cold, and stable marine environment. When populations of giant scallops decline, it usually signals profound changes within the ecosystem. With growing international interest in rare and exclusive ingredients, the giant scallop of the Faroe Islands began to attract unwanted attention. However, local governments and environmental organizations acted quickly, imposing strict protection rules. Today, its harvest is highly regulated and in many cases completely prohibited for commercial purposes. Observing these scallops in their natural habitat is extremely rare. They live anchored to the seafloor, remaining motionless for long periods, slowly opening and closing their shells to filter food. This discreet lifestyle contributes to the mystery surrounding them. For researchers, encountering a live giant scallop is a significant scientific event, offering valuable data on longevity, slow growth, and adaptation to extreme cold. Culturally, the giant scallop has become a symbol of resilience and patience. In a fast-paced world, it represents the opposite: slow growth, stability, and silent longevity. Each specimen carries decades of oceanic history, surviving storms, seasonal changes, and harsh climatic cycles. For most people, the giant scallop of the Faroe Islands will remain invisible, a being deeply anchored in distant seas, far from busy ports and global markets. And perhaps that is its greatest protection. Its rarity is not only biological, but also geographical and cultural. More than a valuable seafood delicacy, this scallop is a living relic of the North Atlantic, a reminder that the oceans still hold treasures that cannot be rushed, exploited, or reproduced. They simply exist silently, waiting for humanity to learn how to observe them with respect. Number 16. Albino ghost lobster. Among all rare and valuable seafood species ever recorded, the albino ghost lobster occupies a singular, almost supernatural place. Unlike species known for abundance or frequent appearance on sophisticated menus, this lobster exists on the boundary between reality and the unknown. Very few specimens have been documented throughout modern history, and most people will never see one, alive, captured, or even in reliable photographs. The albino ghost lobster is not merely rare, it is a living anomaly. Its translucent white, almost spectral coloration does not result from artificial selection or controlled breeding. It is the result of an extremely uncommon combination of natural albinism and adaptation to deep-sea environments. In regions where sunlight does not penetrate, pigmentation ceases to be an evolutionary advantage, opening space for organisms that seem made of solid mist. Its natural habitat consists of deep, cold zones of the ocean, generally associated with rocky formations, submarine canyons, and regions near inactive hydrothermal vents. In these areas, pressure is extreme, temperatures are low, and food arrives irregularly, often in the form of organic detritus slowly descending from the upper layers of the sea. It is within this silent and hostile setting that the ghost lobster builds its existence. Physically, it is subtly impressive. Its pearly white exoskeleton reflects the artificial light of submersibles as if it were made of marine porcelain. Instead of the red, blue, or brown tones typical of known lobsters, its body displays milky hues, sometimes with silvery reflections. Its joints are thin and delicate, and its long antennae seem to trace ghostly lines through the dark water. The eyes of the ghost lobster are another intriguing detail. In many records, they appear reduced or poorly pigmented, suggesting minimal reliance on vision. In environments of constant darkness, other senses take over. It perceives subtle vibrations, chemical changes in the water, and almost imperceptible movements in its surroundings. Every movement is slow, precise, and economical. The growth of this lobster is extremely slow. It is estimated that an adult individual may take decades to reach its maximum size. This biological slowness further increases its ecological and symbolic value. Each specimen represents many years of survival under extreme conditions. Losing a single individual means erasing a long and rare evolutionary story. From a gastronomic point of view, the meat of the albino ghost lobster is considered legendary. Extremely rare accounts describe an incredibly tender texture with a clean, gentle, and deep flavor, almost mineral, reflecting the cold, stable environment in which the animal lives. Precisely because of this, when a specimen accidentally appears in deep-sea fishing nets, it becomes an object of silent dispute, often never reaching public markets. In some coastal cultures, especially in the regions of the North Atlantic and Pacific, the albino lobster is seen as an omen. Some believe capturing it brings bad luck, while others view it as a sign of extreme wealth. These beliefs have paradoxically contributed to its preservation, as many fishermen prefer to return it to the sea rather than risk symbolic consequences. Ecologically, the ghost lobster plays an important role as an opportunistic predator and recycler of organic matter. It feeds on small invertebrates, organic remains, and weakened organisms, helping maintain balance within deep-sea communities. Its absence can trigger cascading effects, altering the dynamics of an already extremely delicate ecosystem. With the advancement of abyssal exploration, the albino ghost lobster has been recorded slightly more frequently, though still exceptionally rarely. Each image captured by underwater cameras generates significant scientific interest, as it offers clues about extreme adaptation, loss of pigmentation, and survival in stable environments over long geological periods. Today, many researchers argue that the albino ghost lobster should never be commercially exploited. Its true value is not on the plate, but in the knowledge it carries about the limits of marine life. Number 17. Deep-sea blue king crab. Among the rarest and most valuable seafood species on the planet, the deep-sea blue king crab holds an almost legendary status. Very few people in the world can claim to have seen a live specimen in its natural environment. Even fewer have had the opportunity to study it beyond occasional records captured by submersible vehicles in extreme regions of the ocean. It is a creature that exists on the margins of common human experience, inhabiting cold, dark, and deep zones where life follows its own rules. This crab belongs to an ancient lineage, adapted to conditions that would be lethal for most marine organisms. It lives in icy waters, often below freezing, at depths that can exceed hundreds of meters. In these regions, sunlight never reaches the seafloor, pressure is crushing, and food is scarce. Even so, the blue king crab not only survives but thrives, becoming one of the largest and most imposing arthropods of the deep ocean. Physically, its appearance is striking. The carapace displays a deep bluish-gray coloration coloration with metallic reflections that vary depending on the angle of artificial light used during underwater explorations. This bluish tone is not merely aesthetic, it is believed to aid in camouflage in low-light environments, where cold hues blend into the ocean floor. Its long, robust legs can reach an impressive span, allowing the animal to move slowly across the sediment while conserving energy. The claws of the blue king crab are true tools of precision and strength. Unlike more familiar coastal species, its pincers are thick and extremely resilient, capable of crushing very hard shells and capturing prey adapted to extreme environments. Every movement is calculated, slow, and efficient, as if time itself flows at a different pace on the ocean floor. The life cycle of this crab is one of the most fascinating aspects of its biology. It grows slowly, taking many years to reach full maturity. This gradual growth is directly linked to the low availability of food and the extremely cold temperatures, which reduce metabolic rates. As a result, each adult individual represents decades of survival in one of the most hostile environments on the planet. Culturally, the blue king crab gained fame mainly through rare accounts from deep-sea fishermen and polar researchers. In some regions of the North Pacific and Atlantic, it is considered a ghost of the sea, an animal that appears occasionally in nets and then disappears for years. These sporadic encounters fueled stories and myths, transforming it into a symbol of hidden wealth beneath ice and darkness. From a gastronomic perspective, its meat is considered among the finest and most valuable of all crustaceans. Extremely white, firm, and delicately sweet, it is often compared to a perfect fusion of tender texture and the intense flavor of cold oceans. Precisely because of this, when a specimen is legally captured, its value can reach exorbitant figures, reserved only for elite restaurants or exclusive culinary events. However, the capture of this crab is highly restricted. Populations are naturally low, and any excessive exploitation can cause irreversible collapses. Unlike species that reproduce quickly, the blue king crab depends on long reproductive cycles and extremely specific environmental conditions. Even minimal disturbances can compromise entire generations. Ecologically, it plays a crucial role in deep-sea ecosystems. As both predator and scavenger, it helps control populations of other invertebrates and recycle organic matter that sinks from the upper layers of the ocean. This process is essential for maintaining the chemical and biological balance of the seafloor, an environment that, although distant, directly influences the health of the oceans as a whole. With advances in technology, modern submersibles have begun recording more frequent images of the blue king crab in its natural habitat. These records reveal a surprisingly elegant animal moving with absolute calm in a silent, dark world. For many scientists, observing this crab is like looking into Earth's past, a living reminder of ancient eras when the oceans were dominated by giant, resilient creatures. The extreme rarity of the deep-sea blue king crab raises important ethical questions. Should it be viewed as a luxury gastronomic resource or as a biological treasure that must be protected at all costs? Increasingly, the scientific and environmental communities defend the latter, arguing that its true value lies in the information it carries about adaptation, resilience, and ecological balance. Number 18. Tahitian black pearl oyster. Among all the rare and valuable seafood species on the planet, few carry symbolism as powerful as the Tahitian black pearl oyster. Unlike species consumed mainly for their meat, this oyster became legendary for producing one of the most desired natural substances known to humanity, the black pearl. What almost no one knows, however, is that the animal itself, alive and intact, is considered one of the rarest seafood species in existence, seen by very few people outside controlled environments. The black pearl oyster inhabits tropical lagoons with incredibly calm and crystal clear waters, mainly in French Polynesia. These environments are so specific that small changes in temperature, salinity, or water quality can completely compromise its survival. As a result, even within its natural territory, it occurs at very low densities, hidden among reefs and sandy bottoms protected from strong currents. Physically, this oyster is a masterpiece of marine evolution. Its outer shell is robust, dark in color, almost black, with greenish and bluish reflections when illuminated by underwater light. The interior of the shell, however, reveals a deep and hypnotic shine, with tones ranging from graphite and violet to petrol blue and emerald green. This iridescent interior is the environment where, in extremely rare cases, the famous black pearl forms. The process of forming a natural black pearl is extraordinarily rare. Unlike cultured pearls, which depend on human intervention, a natural pearl forms when a microscopic foreign body enters the oyster. As a defense mechanism, the animal animal begins coating the invader with successive layers of nacre. This process can take years, sometimes decades, and the probability of resulting in a perfectly formed pearl is minimal. What makes this oyster even more valuable is that its meat, although edible, is almost never consumed. Killing a black pearl oyster means destroying an organism that may take decades to reach full maturity. In many local cultures, it is seen as a sacred being, a silent guardian of the lagoons. In the past, Polynesian fishermen believed that removing an oyster without spiritual permission would bring imbalance to the waters. For centuries, black pearls have been associated with royalty, power, and mystery. Kings, emperors, and spiritual leaders saw them as symbols of wisdom acquired through suffering and time. Unlike white pearls, black pearls carry an aura of depth and introspection, which further increased their cultural and economic value. This appreciation, however, brought severe consequences. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, uncontrolled exploitation nearly drove the black pearl oyster to extinction. Divers spent hours underwater, often without proper equipment, opening thousands of oysters just to find a few usable pearls. Most oysters were discarded, killed needlessly. With the collapse of natural populations, local governments and traditional communities began rigorous preservation efforts. Controlled farming operations emerged, where oysters are raised in monitored environments, allowing pearl production without completely eliminating wild individuals. Even so, the truly wild black pearl oyster remains one of the rarest marine creatures in the world. From an ecological perspective, this oyster plays a fundamental role in lagoon health. As a filter feeder, it helps keep the water clean, removing suspended particles and balancing microorganism populations. Its absence causes imbalances that affect corals, fish, and the entire local food chain. Very few divers have had the privilege of observing a black pearl oyster in its natural habitat, intact and untouched. Accounts describe the experience as almost spiritual, seeing such an ancient, silent, and valuable organism resting on the bottom of a crystal clear lagoon is a direct reminder of the ocean's invisible wealth. Number 19. Golden sea cucumber. Among all the rare and valuable seafood species on the planet, few arouse as much fascination, mystery, and controversy as the golden sea cucumber. At first glance, its simple shape and discreet appearance suggest no luxury at all. Yet beneath this almost mundane exterior lies one of the most coveted, expensive, and protected marine organisms in the world. A true living gold that very few humans have ever seen in its natural habitat. The golden sea cucumber belongs to a group of echinoderms that primarily inhabit deep ocean floors, far from sunlight, where pressure is extreme, and life follows rhythms completely different from those at the surface. This particular species, characterized by tones ranging from metallic gold to amber and bronze reflections, has become legendary in scientific and Asian gastronomic circles due to its extreme rarity and the properties attributed to its body. Visually, the golden sea cucumber appears almost artificial. Its elongated body has a velvety texture, with microstructures that softly reflect light, creating a natural glow reminiscent of polished metal. Unlike more common species, it shows near-perfect symmetry and uniform coloration, without spots or irregularities. When observed in controlled environments, its slow, steady movement conveys a hypnotic sensation, as if time itself flowed differently around it. But the true value of the golden sea cucumber goes beyond appearance. For centuries, East Asian cultures have attributed almost mythical properties to it. In traditional medicine, its tissues are believed to be rich in extremely rare bioactive compounds associated with longevity, cellular regeneration, and immune system strengthening. While many of these beliefs remain scientifically debated, modern studies confirm that it contains unusual concentrations of marine collagen, saponins, and natural antioxidants. This reputation has turned the golden sea cucumber into one of the most expensive ingredients ever traded. On black markets, a single dried specimen can reach values higher than precious metals by weight. In some regions of Asia, it is treated as a family heirloom, stored for decades before being consumed on extremely special occasions, such as symbolic imperial celebrations, traditional rituals, or events reserved for economic elites. The problem is that this extreme appreciation has had devastating consequences. Predatory fishing, often carried out illegally and in highly destructive ways, has wiped out entire populations in regions where the golden sea cucumber was once relatively abundant. Illegal divers risk their lives descending to dangerous depths depths without proper equipment, driven by the promise of immediate profit. In many cases, the ecological impact goes far beyond the captured species itself. Sea cucumbers play an essential role in deep-sea ecosystems. They act as true ocean cleaners, processing sediments, recycling organic matter, and maintaining the chemical balance of the seabed. When their populations collapse, the entire surrounding ecosystem suffers. Microorganisms proliferate uncontrollably, sediment quality deteriorates, and other species dependent on this balance begin to disappear. Faced with this alarming scenario, several countries have classified the golden sea cucumber as critically endangered. Its capture has been banned or severely restricted, and international monitoring programs attempt to track illegal trade routes. Even so, demand remains high, fueled by the symbolic status the animal carries. Behind the scenes of science, researchers are trying to better understand the biological secrets of this creature. Its regenerative system is particularly intriguing. Like other sea cucumbers, it can regenerate lost body parts, but in the golden variety, this process occurs in a surprisingly rapid and efficient manner. Some scientists believe that in-depth study of these mechanisms could open pathways for advances in human regenerative medicine. In natural environments, observing a golden sea cucumber is an extremely rare event. It lives partially buried in sediment, slowly emerging to feed. Its diet consists mainly of microscopic particles and decomposing organic matter, filtered with remarkable efficiency. This discreet lifestyle contributes to the mystery surrounding it, making every visual record a scientific treasure. Today, the golden sea cucumber symbolizes a profound paradox, something seemingly simple and almost invisible that has become one of the greatest symbols of extreme luxury and human exploitation of the oceans. Number 20. White abalone. The white abalone is considered one of the rarest and most valuable seafood species in existence, not only because of its flavor or appearance, but because of the almost mythical history surrounding it. Very few people in the world have ever seen a live specimen outside of highly controlled scientific environments. For decades, it was treated as a marine legend, mentioned only in old accounts by divers and artisanal fishermen along the California coast. Visually, the white abalone looks like a natural sculpture. Its shell displays pearly tones ranging from ivory and silver to nearly ethereal bluish reflections. Unlike other abalone species, its surface is smoother and more delicate, with perfectly aligned perforations as if they had been drawn by hand. The interior of the shell is considered one of the purest nacres ever recorded. The true treasure, however, lies in its flesh. Extremely tender, with a buttery texture and subtly sweet flavor, white abalone was for a long time a symbol of status at imperial banquets and exclusive ceremonies. In clandestine Asian markets, a single specimen could reach prices equivalent to a luxury car. That rarity, however, came at a devastating cost. Overfishing and habitat destruction reduced white abalone populations to critical levels. Today, it is considered functionally extinct in the wild. Its capture is absolutely prohibited, and any violation can result in severe penalties, including prison. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting content appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.